is another day in the gardening world, and Keith actually rebuilt one of the beds that was broken because we needed more space. I think I'm going to do all green beans in here, but we still need to get a little topsoil, so that will be a tomorrow project. We installed another cattle panel here in between these two beds. As you saw the other day, my hot peppers are here. So I'm either going to plant cucumbers here or more squash, and then cucumbers or more squash. I think it's going to be the squash just because I want to keep them up off the ground because the aphids get so bad. And then I think I'm going to plant my cucumbers here. And then right now I'm going to go ahead and plant my cabbages in this bed. I like to keep them in raised beds because they also attract bugs so badly, and I feel like, well, first of all, I don't have room in my market garden anymore, but I feel like they would be so bad in the market garden. So we're going to keep them up off the ground in a raised bed. I'm realizing that I do a very poor job of showing you what I'm actually doing. I do it and then I tell you what I've done, but I just get in the zone, man. I get in the zone. Gardening is such a happy space for me, and I forget. I turn my music on and my mind wanders to gardening, and that's it. But I'm going to show you what I did. My garden has exploded this year, and I'm so happy about it. It looks so good. I have market beans growing here to grow up over this trellis. And then I've got regular cucumber, regular cucumber, regular cucumber, and then a lemon cucumber, which is one of my favorites. And then I'm going to have to cut this down a little bit and attach it. It's a little too tall for what I need, but I've got some Amish melons growing here, and I'm going to kind of train them up and then probably back down, and then I can train them to go up and over this trellis. And then these guys are cantaloupes, and I'm kind of going to do the same thing. I do have another one of these right there that I haven't put in here yet, but essentially it's going to use this trellis as well, and then possibly that. We'll see how things go. Over here we've got the cabbage family. We've got all regular cauliflower here. We've got all regular cabbage here. We've got all regular broccoli here. This is also broccoli, but this is my broccoli that I planted. It needs a little shot of water. And then this is also something that I planted. It's purple cauliflower. And then this is something that I planted. This is Romanesco. So I need to give these guys a shot of water, but I'm trying to be careful because it's the heat of the day. And then over here, as you saw the other day, I planted my hot peppers over here. I did just a couple marigolds. All of these that you see are marigolds. And then all of this is butternut squash. And I'm going to grow it up this cattle panel. And then this is the one that Keith did earlier today. He actually ran to town to get more soil, but then right here I'm going to plant my delicata squash so that it can grow up over, and then the rest of this will be beans, and I'll plant them probably in 3 separate times. So I'll probably plant some later tonight or tomorrow, and then give it a couple weeks and plant a 3rd row, and then give it a couple weeks and plant, or I'm sorry, a 2nd row, and then give it a couple weeks and plant a 3rd row. Over here in my market garden, I actually chose to do my watermelons here, and then I'll kind of train them on this trellis and then let them grow into the grass, or we can get another cattle panel and some posts and make like make one that's not quite as tall right here. So that's to be determined. My potatoes are coming up pretty well, so I'm actually going to take these out and I'm going to add some more soil to them. Like I said in the past, you want to keep adding the soil to the potatoes so that they keep stacking and growing. I've seen people do this in hay or like straw too, so you could try that, but dirt has always worked well for us. I planted 3 potatoes in this bin and they've all come up, so I'm going to go ahead and put soil in these. You just want to be careful to kind of like not just dump it on top of the potatoes. Just kind of lightly place it and then move it around, and then cover your potatoes up lightly. If you just pour it right on there, then you kind of like drown them out. You just want to lightly cover them And then when they pop out through the soil again, you'll do the same thing. So you're probably gonna do this about 5 or 6 times in order to get to the top of the bucket. But it has proven to be the best method for me. This guy over here, only one of them has popped up, so I'm not gonna go ahead and put soil in this one yet. And then the furthest one also has all of his up, so I am gonna put soil in that one. But you just wanna make sure that they're all up and alive before you add more soil to them. Hello, it is another day in the garden. I took an absolute massacre of a spill in the garden this morning, tripped over a cattle panel. I have been trying to keep moving all day because I know that I'm just gonna seize up the minute I stop. So I just got done walking on my walking pad while I did some work, and then I sat down at my desk for 15 minutes, and I got up and I felt like I was gonna fall. It's like, oh my gosh, everything hurts. It's my left shin and my right knee. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna come out to the garden and keep moving and get this garden finished up. So that's where we're at. We're gonna plant some more potatoes. We're gonna plant some squash. I'm gonna replant my chives because they are no-go. They're just not the same. And what else? I think that's about it. That's about it. All right, let's get to it. I just moved one of the potato bins over there because I'm actually gonna move all of my Yukon ones over there and then just have my 2 russet bins here. But I wanted to show you all of the worms. Look at them all. They're so cute. I can't wear my boots because the front part where it hits that spot on my shin that's so sore. So we're in sandals today. Hi, Sage. Hi, buddy. Alrighty, I got my potatoes planted. So all of these are Yukon Golds planted at different dates. And then those are russet potatoes. I might do some more Yukon Golds, but I'm not 100% sure. And I still have to do all my sweet potatoes. Right here, we've got all delicata squash, so it can grow up over this. And then right here, I planted soybeans or edamame. And then over there, I planted green beans. And the soybeans die off pretty quickly. So then once these green beans start coming up, I'll go ahead and plant a row here. And then eventually the soybeans will die off. And I'll be able to get into the second row of green beans. But in more important news, my favorite beans is right here. Right, buddy? This is my favorite bean. Yeah, Sage Reno. We call him Beans because it went from Sage, and then it went Sage Reno, and then it was Reen's Beans. And now sometimes we just call you Beans. And you're the most delicious bean I've ever had in my whole life. Yes. You're the only one that doesn't make Mom gassy, too. Yeah. You're perfect. You're perfect boy. Absolutely perfect. Also, when Keith was working on the pump house, he took out one of my blueberry plants. So he bought me a couple more yesterday. And so he planted those for me today. So now we've got 3 again. We started with 3, and then we had one die, and then he took one out. So we've got some blueberry plants again. He's using the skid loader to guide it that way. Chainsaw needs sharpened. There we go. Troy.
Thanks.
That was so satisfying. That was so satisfying. The tomatoes that I planted from seed are starting to really take off. So I need to remove these so they can continue to grow. They're right here. And I need to get some tomato cages around them so that the cats don't bother them, but they're getting too tall for what I had. Look at them. So cute. All of the seeds that I planted in the garden are really taking off too, so I'm gonna go ahead and replace these with some tomato cages. These are 𝗺𝗲𝗄𝗧. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Sorry, buddies. Stay healthy. Anyways, I'm going to not keep all of these, but I'm just going to keep the one that grows the best, and then I'll cut the rest off. Today, I'm trying to wrap up the last part of the garden. Well, not necessarily the last part, but I'm going to be planting more beets and carrots because remember I left extra rows so that as my beets and carrots came up, I could plant more so that they're all ready like at different times. So I'm going to do that today, and I might try to get my sweet potatoes in the ground. Well, not in the ground, but in the soil. And yeah, just kind of wrap up gardening. Right now I'm weeding the garden bed that my beets and carrots are in, because it needs a little bit of help. Keith has been over here filling up the potato bins that needed more soil, and then he's also been filling up bins for me to get started with my sweet potatoes. I told him I needed 7. We definitely don't have that much soil, so I don't know what we're gonna do. Over here in this bed, I have weeded everything, and I am going to go ahead and plant more. So these are my golden beets. I'm gonna plant another row now of golden beets here. These are my regular beets. Gonna go ahead and plant another row of regular beets. These are carrots. I'm gonna go ahead and plant another row of carrots, and then probably in a month plant another row. These are little carrots, and I'm gonna go ahead and plant another row today. I just went ahead and lifted the cattle panel off of this. Now these are soybeans, and these are green beans. And I was only gonna do 3 rows in here. I was gonna go ahead and plant another row of green beans once these were pretty much established, which is now. But I think I'm actually gonna plant 2, but wait a little while. So these ones will be our first harvest. And then I think I'm gonna plant some probably about right here, not quite center. And then by the time these are pretty much died off and eaten, then these guys right here will be sprouts coming up. So I think that's what I'm gonna do just to maximize my space so I can get 3 rows of green beans. I also have pole green beans growing up that, but we just eat so many of them and we love to gift them to friends and family. So I think I'm gonna go for it. Yeah, let's do it. Lime is helping me. Can you push those down in the soil, buddy? Can you push those beans down in the soil for Mom? Oh, we tried. We tried. Oh, see, this is why we put the cattle panels on, because they will lay over on my sprouts when they're just fragile, and then they're done for. All right, buddy. All right. We need to get you out, okay? Okay. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Sorry. All right, this is how I plant beans. I usually don't do a trench. I just laid the beans out in a line, and then I take my finger and I just push them down into the soil. That is it. I just added a bag of soil to this tub and kind of like raked it in. And I'm gonna go ahead and plant a bunch of wildflowers in here. I lied, I'm not gonna use wildflowers. I have all these zinnias, so I'm gonna go ahead and plant all of these. Not all of them, but I'm gonna do some chaos gardening. All right, this is where the chaos gardening comes in. I'm just going to plant these for no rhyme or reason. I'm just going to throw them in the dirt, kind of cover it up, which means they'll all get mumble jumbled. And then we're just gonna have beautiful, beautiful, beautiful zinnias. I'm so excited. And that's it. I have planted all of them. I'm going to try to cover them up a little bit or add some soil. I'm back in my lettuce bed on my back patio right now, and I'm going to do some replanting because the only lettuce that came up was this one Bibb lettuce. None of my gold rush or my crisp mint came up. Like I said, all these seeds are old from 2 years ago, so this is their second year. So I was kind of questioning that some of them would come up, and it was mostly my lettuces. I did have some kale come up, but we don't eat much kale, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But I have all this space now, and I've got a couple more marigolds, so I'll probably plant those and try to get some more lettuce in here. I bought some at Walmart. I got some microgreens, which I won't do in here, but I got some Paris Island romaine, some spinach, and then I do have this crisp mint. It is from 2 years ago, but it hasn't been opened. So maybe it will be good. So I'm going to plant some of this too. Alrighty, I got my sweet potatoes planted and of course covered so the cats don't dig them up. Here we have some purple sweet potatoes, and then we've got the regular garnet sweet potatoes in these 2 bins. I'm also going to plant some garnets in that bin, but I need to wait for some more of them to root. In these 2 bins, I'm gonna plant my Japanese sweet potatoes, but they are not ready yet. And then in here, I have my Hannah sweet potatoes, which are doing great, look great. But this works perfect until we actually get some substantial plants in here, then the cats will leave them alone. Like, we could probably take this off now. Well, maybe not, because there's not enough over there, but they like to lay on them. So especially this one, where it's only like on one side, they would lay over there, which would be fine, but just try to keep them out. We did do some more planting in the garden. I had 2 raspberry bushes, so Keith planted one here and one here. The whole goal is to have this whole end raspberry plants. And then I had 2 rhubarb plants, so Keith planted one here and one here. And again, the whole goal is to have rhubarb all the way down here. The garden will be just like extended this way a little bit, but for this year, this is what it looks like. We're doing so good. And I have such a good garden buddy, Lime. Lime has decided to be my garden buddy this year, and that makes me really happy. Right, buddy? All right, that is a wrap on finally planting my garden. Like, everything is planted now, which makes me so happy. So I guess we'll see you in the next vlog, which will be me maintaining my garden and harvesting, which is my favorite part and the most rewarding. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.